Hello. Hey guys, hey people. I want to make a little video about snow. Exactly, snow. Sounds boring? Well. There's so much that snow is telling us. I will flip the camera and you see some of it. So we are in the end of winter. It has been melting for a few days, and here in the snow you see a lot of stuff laying on the snow, and this is actually that stuff that has accumulated over the winter. So squirrels have been peeling pine cones, and needles been falling, and branches and pieces of bark been falling on the snow, and then there came new layers of snow and new layers of snow and new layers of snow. So after fresh snow everything looks like really clean and white, and then the snow melts and all this is kind of, those layers are coming together. So that's one thing you can see. And then of course, like tracks like here, these are ski pole tracks, but there are like loads and loads of other tracks, and from the tracks you can see, depending how good you are, who walked here, why, from where to where, when walked somebody here or landed here, flew here, all kinds of tracks in the snow. But there are also like other things that snow can tell us. When we look into the layers of the snow, right? When you just poke a finger into the snow and you feel like there is a resistance, soft layer, hard layer, soft layer, hard layer, you get some information about how was the snow when it was falling. Was it cold or was it warm? Was it dense or fluffy? Also, you get information if, for example, there have been melting weather and you get layers of ice because it's freezing again, or if there was rain that hit the snow and you have layers of ice in there, which is like kind of a climate catastrophe thing here, because many species seek for shelter in the snow and then they can't get in or out when you have these layers of ice. So other things very interesting is when you look at road traffic. So first of all, look at how white is the snow near the roads. So how far away from the roads do you still see the pollution caused by the traffic? So that's like abrasion of the tires. So you see like the particles, the microplastic rubbery stuff that comes from the tires, but it's also asphalt that is being worn off, especially with studded spiked tires. So you have like asphalt that is in the air or in the snow getting into the water, and then when it's dry and dusty it goes into the lungs. But it's also, of course, the pollution, the particles that come from the exhaust pipes. So that's something we can see. And then there is like dog poop. Imagine here in winter, like, or after winter, like we have dog poop from 5 months that is like all melting, or so it seems. Like we get to see the dog poop that has accumulated over winter, and then it seems to be melting all at the same time, and it's pretty disgusting and smelly. It's really smelly, and when it then dries and becomes dusty, it's even nastier. So there's this time of the year where I cycle with a face mask. But the interesting part is, for me, there we see the dog poop that is there. We do not see the dog poop that has been removed. And to me, that's a nice parallel to how we are, I don't know, watching news, right? We are seeing the bad stuff, and we don't see all the stuff, like kind of the good stuff, like the removed dog poop, right? That the responsible dog people have bothered to collect and dispose of. So this is we don't see. So we only see the dog poop that is there. What else does snow tell us in traffic is we can see how many of these cars are actually stored in public spaces. A lot of the cars that we see, they look like, oh, there's like people park their car here. But when you have a car that has like 3 weeks of snow on it, you know that this car is not being moved for 3 weeks. And you see actually quite a lot of cars which are stored in public spaces. And that's something for me really hard to understand, right? Like, why have the car in the first place, right? Then it's using space, public space, and like I couldn't like store my hobby in public spaces. Like, yeah, that's a bit strange. So you see like cars that how many cars are actually not being used. and still take up space. And then you also see where cars have been driving, and you can see where how much space cars actually need, right? We have the big roads, but then you see like, hey, they're actually only using one lane here, right? It's very honest. You see the tracks of the cars, and you see we could actually have a very different design of roads, like with a lot more like free time space, like benches and gardens and growing boxes and whatnot, and the bigger cycle tracks. So the cars do not deserve this much space, and it becomes obvious in winter where you can actually see that. Okay, anything else about snow? I'll have a look in my list. No, I made a little cheat list. Okay, I'm skiing back home now. I was just checking one camera trap. There's a nest of raccoon dogs. Yep, it's they're so sweet and they're so cute, but at the same time they're invasive, harmful species. So I don't know what to do with them. Yeah. Anyhow, not my property where they are. Um, assuming that they are there. But yes. Okay. Have a good one. Bye bye.